in order to dissuade us from being more angry, that I can show you how I bought my own ticket to the rendezvous. Mr. Speaker, I beg that I don't be pushed further because this is the first time. Mr. Speaker. Order, senators. Mr. Speaker.
Senator Bonny.
This is...
Senator Bonny. There is a cardinal rule. Order, senators. Senator Mungatana, as the chair, I'll give you an opportunity. I'll give you an opportunity to speak after Bonny. But Senator Bonny, there is a cardinal rule that he who alleges proves. So don't feel like you're being pushed far. You're already there.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to conclude by appealing to the eye in our minds that the only other ad hoc committee that captured the imagination of this country almost to the level of the one of Shakahola was when J.M. Kariuki was murdered. But the one of Shakahola has captured the country more, to the extent that when I attended one of the sittings as a friend of the committee, Senator Cherargei and I, Mr. Speaker, the whole country was riveted on their chairs and their eyes were glued on the screen. Over 400 Kenyans have died in this. They are hoping that two institutions, the institution of DCI and the institution of Parliament, will give them justice. We have never had a greater responsibility than the one we have today under Shakahola. I rest my case.
Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker.
Order, senators. Kindly let us hear the chairman of the...
Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to thank the Honorable Senator Bonny Khalwale, who is my good friend, and we have served a long time in this House. And I want to believe that he's doing this in good faith. Mr. Speaker, indeed, when Senator Cherargei and Senator Bonny Khalwale came for the meeting on Friday, I treated them with the highest decorum and gave them opportunity to make submissions, and they can testify to this. Mr. Speaker, while we were there, the DCI, who was a witness in that meeting, requested that we visit the headquarters so that we can see the points they are making. And they requested it in camera. Senator Khalwale was there. Senator Cherargei was present. We told them we will consider the request. The other witness who came was Pastor Ezekiel. He also made the same request that he will want to invite
Senator Fonandi, what is
committee.
Your point of order? Senator Mungatana just yield. What is your point of order, Senator Fonandi?
Mr. Speaker, sir, standing order 101-105, this is a very sensitive and emotive matter. Dragging the holy name of Senator Cherargei is very dangerous. Mr. Speaker, the chair should say I was present before the presence of the parliament when witness appeared. I was not present in Mavueni in Kilifi, so that people don't get confused. I was not part of it. Mr. Speaker, please, I cannot be the innocent. Mr. Speaker, I cannot be the innocent. Among the innocent people who will be crucified with Jesus, Mr. Speaker. I cannot be.
Senator Mungatana, as you mention names, As you mention names, try to be very specific.
Mr. Speaker, the problem with my colleague Cherargei is that when you are making submissions in this house, he is consulting. He's not following what is happening. So he's totally out of order because I mentioned, Mr. Speaker, and let's get serious, that there was a request from the DCI and a request from Pastor Ezekiel that was made that we make a visit so that whatever evidence they were giving us, which was crucial evidence, Mr. Speaker, we would see for ourselves the challenges and the issues that were there. So, Mr. Speaker, after the meeting, we sat as senators, and Mr. Speaker, I take full responsibility for this. We sat as senators, and most of us, the majority of us, except those who were absent, we said, look, our time for this committee comes to an end on Thursday. And this is Friday night. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday, Mr. Speaker, today, we have been interacting with the report. We came here, but we'll go back until we finish. Tuesday, Mr. Speaker, we had given summonses to witnesses who had not come so that they can appear. So the only practical day was Monday. And Mr. Speaker, because the members were there, I made the decision that we shall visit the DCI and we shall visit the Pastor Ezekiel. And while we were in Kilifi, we shall visit the County Security Committee after we finish with Ezekiel. Mr. Speaker, we then asked our clerk of the committee to go and seek the normal procurement procedures. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I also made a phone call to our clerk, the clerk of the Senate, to ask him if he can make urgent arrangement for travel for us. While we were waiting, because it was evening, we said there's only 1 day remaining for us to be able to cover the cost and to cover DCI. We then agreed that if it is possible, in the normal manner of operations, we can go up and beyond our call of duty to visit DCI and visit the Security Committee in Kilifi and visit Emmanuel. And Mr. Speaker, we then traveled, Mr. Speaker, with the understanding that in the event that procurement procedures not to have been complied with, once we come back, we shall regularize, as is always the case. Mr. Speaker, it's not the first time, personally, I have even traveled out of this country, and because of exchequer issues or exchequer delays.
Senator Mungatana.
Yes.
Senator Gloria, acquaint yourself with the standing orders. The member is on a point of order. All these members who are speaking on the Shakahola are doing so on the platform of a point of order. So you cannot draw a point of order on a point of order. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So it is not abnormal, and all of us know here, Mr. Speaker, that you can travel even outside the country, pay for your own accommodation, and later on make arrangements for claims because procurement procedures either delay or, in fact, exchequer releases are delayed. Mr. Speaker, for someone to say that we haven't done this witness or the other, therefore the committee has failed, that is okay. That is a genuine thing. But for someone to crucify a public, Mr. Speaker, protect me from Cherargei.
Senator Mutenda, kindly give your chairman an opportunity to vindicate the...
So, Mr. Speaker, I'm saying, if we fail in our duty, it is in the place of this House that has sent us out to come and castigate us. But if we have gone beyond, up and beyond our call of duty, Mr. Speaker, it is in the place of this House to support us, unless you have a hidden agenda, Mr. Speaker. Unless you have a hidden agenda. Mr. Speaker, I want people to see, and senators, honorable senators, to see that there were serious allegations that graveyards existed in that New Life Center, that a mortuary existed in that New Life Center, that the ideology of starvation of people to death so that they can meet Christ existed in that New Life Center. Mr. Speaker, if the committee goes out of its way to just see this is where the graveyard is supposed to be, the facts are established that in fact this is a construction site. We go to the mortuary, the alleged mortuary. We are seeing this is in fact the center of distribution for energy. Mr. Speaker, we are taken to
Senator Mungatana.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Do not discuss the contents of the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank you for your guidance. But I want to also tell Bonny Khalwale, my colleague here, senator, and a friend of mine, that the hours we spent in DCI, Mr. Speaker, I can assure you, and you will read it from the national, the report we shall file, the National Forensic Laboratory that is under the Directorate of Criminal Investigation has been frustrated beyond even performance by the very people who are sponsoring this negativity, because they know the bombshells we are going to lay on this house. And Mr. Speaker, they know. That's why they are sponsoring negative articles to divert attention. But Mr. Speaker, tell them and tell the executive arm of government that no matter how hard they try to hide, we shall expose them for who they are, for how they failed the people of Kenya. And it doesn't matter whether you send the government whip here or you send whoever, we shall expose you. And that report, Mr. Speaker, is going to change the way things operate. We are saying this, Mr. Speaker. We are saying that if it is good for the country to know what is happening in DCI, what is happening where alleged graves are, what is happening in the District Security Committee of Kilifi, Mr. Speaker, and it will cost us nothing but time, and then we have to come back and make our claims. Mr. Speaker, even today, we will go. In fact, yesterday, Mr. Speaker, we had summoned Mackenzie himself to come before the committee. And this committee, Mr. Speaker, we had no budget to go. No budget to go. But what we had,
Senator,
we were asking, Mr. Speaker, just I'm concluding, Mr. Speaker.
I'll give you more time if I don't conclude.
Yes.
Senator Mungatana.
Yes, my lord.
I can see you are veering off the point of order that has been raised. Senator Bonny raised a point of order based on our own standing orders. And one of the things he said is, before any standing committee of the Senate sits within or without the presence of Parliament, there are certain procedures that are supposed to be followed. Okay? And there's some very critical Secretariat personnel that would accompany that particular committee. I thought you'll restrict yourself to that. The shock waves in that report, please leave it in that report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me just finish what I'm saying and then I address Mr. Speaker, the point of the matter is that Senator Khalwale has misinformed this House that that pastor was in fact out on bail. Mr. Speaker, we had the lawyers. The person has been held by police, but there are no charges that have been presented, Mr. Speaker. These are the facts. So it would be good not to anticipate debate, wait for the report. The report is going to come here on Thursday. But to address that particular issue that we were supposed to follow procedures, Mr. Speaker, we asked the clerk of our committee. We also communicated to the clerk of the Senate. The timings, Mr. Speaker, were restrictive, but the information that was required, Mr. Speaker, in fact, the committee had said, before we can sign any report, there are some critical witnesses that must be there, including the Mackenzie himself. Mr. Speaker, we served those summonses. We asked him to come, and it will be in that report. Mr. Mackenzie, at the beginning, there was obstruction, but later on, Shimolatewa Prison, and I thank the officer who is there, made arrangements for him to be available. However, the Inspector General of Prisons, because of the security arrangements that were needed, he's a high-profile prisoner. He asked for more time. The lawyers also asked for more time, so we were not able to reach him. That's why even yesterday, the team was ready again, Mr. Speaker, to travel on their own expense and then come and make the claims later. So, Mr. Speaker, those personnel, this is how we have covered it. We did not have the clerk for the reason that at the time of going, they could not raise the funds. We did not have the clerks, but, Mr. Speaker, how we have made sure that everything was captured and put on record. This is what we did. As a chairman and those members who attended, I gave a report of what we observed from the meetings of the witnesses, from how we got the invitations and everything. The members of the Senate committee who accompanied the chairman, they gave their observations. And I'm telling you, Mr. Speaker, the things that we saw at the DCI, Mr. Speaker, it's going to change the way this country thinks. And we have been placing the wrong blame on the wrong people. There are people who have messed up this country, and it is not the DCI. Mr. Speaker, I want to finish by saying that tomorrow we shall file that report. And I take responsibility for going out of my way with the support of my committee to do more. Mr. Speaker, if this committee was added more time, the one person we wanted to meet that because of logistical issues we could not meet was Mackenzie himself. However, Mr. Speaker, we have already had one extension. It's difficult for us, and we agreed we can't be given another extension, and also because of budgetary constraints. However, Mr. Speaker, what we have, especially the last witnesses and what we saw and what we have seen and the information we have collected, Kenyans, you will be proud of the work that we have done, and this Senate will stand high, Mr. Speaker, irrespective of people who have cast aspersions on this Senate committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, you know, order Senator Gloria, honorable senators, there are matters that are better handled administratively, and there are matters that are better handled through plenary. This is one such matter that is better handled administratively. The point of order raised by Senator Bonny basically is on procedural administrative issues. Now, this matter was brought to my attention yesterday. I have already engaged the gears of administrative officers. It's being handled. Safe to say that the integrity of parliamentary processes will always be upheld. I better leave it at that. Next order, clerk.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Now, honorable senators, at this juncture, allow me to invoke Standing Order 45-2 and seek to rearrange the sequence of the order paper for convenience of the House, we move to prosecute Order 11. If we have the numbers, we can proceed to 12, 13, 14. If not, then after 11, we can then resume normal flow of orders as contained in today's order paper. So, Clerk, proceed to call Order number 11.
Order number 11, the Equalization Fund Appropriation Bill, Senate Bills number 30 of 2023, second reading.
Order, Honorable Senators. Senator Tabitha, kindly proceed to move.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I do beg to move that the equalization